Thanks for joining us on another interesting edition of our current affairs program, Issues of the Moment. Issues of the Moment is coming to you from the studio of Living Television Film Academy here in Aba. And today on the program, we are going to place on the front burner the list of commissioner nominees sent to Abia State House of Assembly by Governor IKPEAZU'S for confirmation. That is what we are going to discuss today. More than 1 week ago, Abia State Governor IKPEAZU'S sent a list of commissioner nominees to the Abia State House of Assembly for confirmation. The list is made up of 27 nominees, and if all of them are confirmed, the state will have a 32-member executive council. Since it was made public, the list, which has no single technocrat, is populated by persons who have been in the corridors of power for more than 2 decades. And with that, we are set for today's edition of the program. I have in the studio Professor Chinedum Adiele. Professor Adiele is a public affairs analyst. I also have in the studio today Mr. Okereke. He is a public affairs analyst also and a lecturer, Legacy University of Kenya. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you. God bless you.
Let me start with you, Professor Adiele. You have seen the list. What is your take?
Well, there is one thing about commissioner nominees, even commissioner designate. I think it is always a period of composition. I see it as a time where the governors of the state want to assist those who helped them, win their elections and so on, and also members of their political parties. Because recently, at this part of the globe, I have discovered that there is no governor that has selected a commissioner outside the purview of his political party. It has always been a political party affair. So it doesn't really matter whether you are an expert or not. I'm not saying the nominees are not experts, but I am saying it is majorly a way of compensating those who contributed to his being there in the office. That's the way I say it.
Okay, thank you. In effect, are you saying that the appointment or the selection is not based purely on merit?
Well, merit. If we are talking about merit here, there are 2 things to consider. If it is on merit, yes, on merit, because these are people who work. And their reason for supporting a governor is that one day they will be appointed to this level. They will be given this level of appointment. So on merit. And also, at least 1 or 2 of them I know who are there. They are all graduates, irrespective of the field. But I know in political appointments, without apologies to any person, in most political appointments, it is not that it is what we consider academic bastardization. Because that is where you can see a lawyer appointed a commissioner for agriculture, and then you can also see a medical doctor appointed commissioner for lands, and so on. So what I'm talking about, in as much as they may be professionals in their various fields, but it is always a time of political conversation.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, okay. I'm sure that you have also seen the list of the commissioner nominees. What is your opinion?
Just as Prof has said, I don't so much put my interest in discussing the backgrounds of the nominees because to a very great extent, 2 factors must have played on the selection. Number 1 is the choice of the governor, people he preferred to actually appoint and people he felt he could work with. Then the second is the party he talked about, because in the executive presidential system, though allowance is given to the chief executive to choose anyone he wishes, but then reality demands that he must, because we're talking about partisan politics. So reality demands he must pick from people. But what I have actually not taken time to assess, and I asked you will do that, is the representativeness of these people in terms of local governments. I just want to believe that people that have been selected as nominees are people from that there is coverage of the local government, so that no local government will perhaps have 4, the other one has just 1. There should be that balance. That is the area I would want to look at for the personalities and their backgrounds. I wouldn't want to bother myself about that, because the governor has worked and functioned between January and this almost a year without commissioners. That means that in fact, those that are appointed, of course, they are coming in as advisors, and whatever the advice the government accepts or rejects will not be like that. And so I don't bother about their backgrounds, their capacities. I bother about coverage, representativeness, all the local government carried along. And when portfolios will be shared, of course, the portfolios will be shared in such a manner that every local government will at least rejoice and say, yes, we are adequately represented. But then as for background, personalities, I don't think one should bother about that.
Okay, thank you for that explanation. Now, Professor Jele, in advanced democracy, don't you think that the governor should look beyond his political party?
Yes, you say in advanced democracy or in an ideal situation, yes, that is what it should be. You should be talking about, technocrats, those who are experts in their various fields to man such governmental departments. That's what it should be. But what we are talking about here, like I said earlier, since the inception of politics here, I think except during Mbakwe's time, I've never seen any governor that appoints, no matter the level of expertise that one, experiences or has been into. I've never seen a governor that appoints outside his political party. Doesn't really matter. I remember in those days when they talk about NPP and NPN and so on, they say once NPP was at the federal government, even if you get a good, put him a suit and his NPN will be voted for. And most often that is what goes on in political parties. Well, I know that the governor himself let me say, if I call him a technocrat, I don't think I'm making a mistake. I think also he knows what he wants. But just like my friend here said, if he had operated almost a year, more than 6 months without commissioners, what he suggests is that he can actually do without them. But appointing them this time is to fulfill certain political obligations which he owed the people that assisted him to be there. And that is exactly what is happening. I don't think, just like my friend also said, I don't think it is a function of expertise. It is a function of what you can do or what you just occupying, just like he said. Most often they are like special advisors. Because I know in this country, I know when commissioners will present their own projects, and it is this project that sum up the total project of a state. Just like the ministers, that of the federal government. That is what sums up the project when they talk about project. It is when they have looked into all the projects of the local government. And if you understand what the ministry means, whether state or federal, all it simply means, it is a channel through which the common man goes in education and so on. That is where they seek succor. So that is why experts are present. That is why they have their own projects. The question now becomes, the range of commissioners we have now, do they make projects? Are they independent?
And that's a very big question. Now, okay, you heard what he said. The commissioners, are they independent?
That is a very, very difficult question to tackle. Because the extent of independence will be determined by the allowance that the governor will give to each of the commissioners. And from what we are seeing currently in our political disposition. I've already mentioned that the governor has worked for almost a function, almost a year without
the commissioners.
That means that more or less,
He can do
when
without
the
them.
commissioners come in, and I keep emphasizing that they are, to a great extent, mere advisors to the governor. What will be decided upon will be whatever the governor chooses or not. So the issue of independence doesn't come into play. They are political appointees of the governor and whatever the governor wishes to do. So we cannot project here and say that they will be independent or they have been independent in the past. What we would rather say is that, well, they will function to the extent that the governor allows them to function. That is my take on that issue, because I cannot say they will be independent. The onus lies on the governor to say, I am giving you people that independence over issues that are under your ministry. Come, bring your budget, bring your projects, and then we'll look at them. The way the governor decides otherwise, there's nothing anybody can do, except maybe for critics to say that is not the right way to carry out a government function. But that will be that. The final decision will lie with the executive or government.
Okay. Professor Dele, I know that you are not in government, but I'm sure that you are a keen observer of what is happening in Abia State. When you look at the challenges facing Abia today as one of the states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, do you think that these men, they have what it takes to move the state forward?
Well, I think the onus of this lies so much on the governor of the day. Like I said earlier, if he was able to perform as a governor for close to 11 months, almost a year, without commissioners, that means they can equally go throughout the 8 years without the commissioners. And so, compare when they were commissioners and when they had no commissioner. What happened? What was the success story between them and now? So my take on that is, whether any man likes it or not, I think some of the things that are happening is because there is no 100% independence, both in the appointment and also even in governorship. And that is why I think sometime in this studio we talked about this confederalism and so on. Because every person wants to dance according to the tune of the man that appoints him. And nobody stands out to speak the truth the way it is. And because of that, things are getting wrong on daily basis. Open up our radio. All you hear is praises. I'm not saying the governor is doing badly, but most of even those who are singing praises are just looking for a way for it. They are looking for their stomach infrastructure and nothing more than that. So it is very, very wrong. Where the governor is doing well, we come out to say, yes, the governor is doing well. There is no commissioner appointed in this Abia State, even this one and those ones that are gone, that can stand out openly to tell the governor, this area is wrong, this area is right. And it's very wrong. The sense of these advisors, senior special advisors, commissioners, and so on, is to make sure the commissioner, the governor himself is not an island. He needs people. That is why there is a constitutional provision for all these commissioners and so on, to assist him to lead the state he is leading into a promised land. But unfortunately, when these people are not given that 100% free hand to make use of their IQ, the intelligent quotient, instead they depend, they want to rather please the government that has appointed them and not the people that they have come to serve. That is where we have a problem. But if they would be allowed, I know many of them appointed are seasoned politicians, professionals of various cadres.
Television Film Academy ABA wishes to inform all the candidates who applied for the Skill Acquisition Scholarship Program sponsored by His Excellency Okezie Victor IKPEAZU PhD for a one-year certificate training in film and mass communication that registration will commence on Monday 9th and end Friday 20th August 2021 from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily at the Academy's main campus, number 1 Judges Road, opposite Esiama Police Station, Opobo Road, ABA. Registration of intending trainees will be on first-come, first-served basis. Meanwhile, the auditioning of actors cum actresses for our epic film Ijani will commence on 21st August 2021. Interested actors cum actresses are invited to join as students and trainees in the film production. Enquiries 0816 641 1400. Management announcer.
Give us but it's not that you are bribing an officer like me.
No.
Don't tomorrow night go tell them say you don't bribe officer like me.
No, we are just settling it.
The Living Television Film ABA wishes to inform all the candidates who applied for the Skill Acquisition Scholarship Program sponsored by His Excellency Okezie Victor.
Back to the show. This is Issues of the Moment, and today we are discussing the list of commissioner nominees made public by Governor Okezie IKPEAZU. Now, okay, like I said in my introduction, most of the nominees have been in power or in the corridors of power since 1999 when democracy was restored in Nigeria. What is the essence of recycling people when we have so many people in other states that are competent to be commissioners and turn things around?
The answer lies in one of the theories that I'm excited each time I teach the students about it, and we call it the elite theory. In every society, there are people we refer to as the elites, the makers and the shakers of the society. Those that determine the developments that take place in the society, whether you like it or not. It is so from US to France to Britain. There are political elites, economic elites, cultural elites, social, religious elites. And in all the different sectors, these people decide what happens. And when the appointments are to be made, the governor does not just come out and say, these are the people I want to work with me. Normally, he consults the political elites, and the political elites will normally tell him, in this case, maybe under the canopy of the political party, these are the people who want you to work with, and these are the people who will not want you to work with. Then there is this second factor, which was made manifest by the President of Nigeria when people kept on complaining about the fact that he never changed his ministers. He told them frankly that when he came into power the first time, that the list of ministers he had, that 85 to 90% of them were people he didn't know.
They were known to him.
Okay, and then over time he found it difficult functioning with them. So maybe at his age and perhaps he's not ready to begin to exert himself so much. He then sat down, began to know these persons. And after having acquired good knowledge of them, having known their background, working with them for some time, he felt it's better I continue with these people that I know. You know, the issue of service chiefs, they must go. The president told them, it is better I work with this. I know them, because when you say I should bring changes, the party may step in again and bring in new person, and I'll start understudying them. So that is another factor Then the first factor I said is the elite theory, whether you believe it or not. What they normally do in elite theory is that those in power will co-opt, bring in one or two persons and work with such a person. So I believe that perhaps that is also, those are the issues that might have played out in the selection that the governor has made, and in his returning some person, he may have told himself, I know these ones.
I can work with them.
Let me continue with them. And then also, he may have looked at the political elites and asked them, who would you want me to work with? And they may say, continue with this one. So those two factors, the factor of the choice of the governor himself, and then the pressure from the elites in the political party that he's in. These two factors play that. And on the basis of a reality, the two factors will always be there. Whosoever is appointing, his interest will come into play, and then the interest of the political party that is in will come into play. And not the interest of every member of the party, not the common man, but the elites in the party. And that is why sometimes when these appointments are made, it will look as if the common man is not adequately, his interest is not adequately represented. Because to tell you the truth, at the level of appointment, the common man's interest is not taken into account. Is all about elitism. People at the top, they decide who will come in, who will not come in. And then the governor, as I've said, will also say, these are the ones I want. So the two combine to determine who will return and who will not return, and who will come in as a new appointee, and who will not come in as a new appointee. So that is the reality.
Yes, yes, that is the truth about what is happening. We're talking about these continuous recycling. Yes, it is part of it. I also think in 2014 I was opportune to be in NIP school in Jos. That is Nigerian Institute for Political Strategy, Policy and Strategy. I was there for a course, and I was asking myself, my political party then sent me there. I was asking myself, if we have a place like this, I even suggested to Professor Kama, who was one of the lecturers, why is it that before every election, it is important that all those who are vying for governors, presidents, should come and sit down here, and they will be taught what politics is all about, what governance is all about. Because it is also in this state that one time governor of this state once said that he cannot empower his enemy. For crying out loud, the money we are talking about is not your own. The money belongs to all of us.
It's our commonwealth.
Yes, it is our commonwealth. But the moment you become a governor, you see that as a privilege. You see it as your personal purse, and you give to whosoever you want. For that statement to have come out from a governor, what was he talking about? Maybe that is when he was advised to appoint some other persons who are very eligible in these positions. And then he said, I cannot empower my enemy. The moment you are elected and sworn in as a governor of a state, every other person becomes your subject, and nobody should be seen as your enemy. There is no how about four political parties. You think everybody will rally around you and vote with all of them vote you. No, there must be this disagreement. But the moment you assume office, it's just like a father who has about 5, 6 wives. Even though the favorite wife may be there, but all these children are his, and he must treat them equally. I think that is one of the problems. Most of our people, most of those who pray for these political offices, most often they don't know what they are going to do. And maybe because of the huge expenses incurred during this political time, I think that is why all of them want to go back, recoup whatever thing they spent, and because of that, they think they can do it the way they want. If there is a clear-cut, well-spent, and conspicuous constitution that stipulates that the moment you become a governor, you are the governor of an entire state, not the governor of your political party. It should be done that way. And that is the only time our people will sit up. If you see a person who will do well in party B, know you are in Party C, you bring him to come and give his own services. I think that is the only way. If not, we'll continue this way. We'll continue this recycling, and it is not helping anybody because it is that same people. It continues. I know a man since the time of Ojos Okalo until now, he's still in government house. Any government in power. And it is very wrong. While the younger ones, and we are here crying, there are no jobs. While the old ones refuse to retire, how can the new ones come in?
Okay, thank you for that wonderful explanation. Now, it can be said that Dr. IKPEAZU'S is on the last lap of his 8-year tenure. Don't you think that at this point in time he needs more technocrats instead of professional politicians?
Well, I have said it as an academic. When I'm in the lecture hall, I like bringing up students to the practical side of issues rather than making them live in a fool's paradise. The reality is this, like a prof mentioned, I would want to add to what he said before I now get into the main question on the issue of appointment and then serving as father of all. If you are talking about serving as father of all, then you are talking about allocation of other resources. But when it comes to appointment, every person should acknowledge the truth that we are talking about partisan politics. Partisan. So over appointments, it is usually the case in reality that the party that is in power would want to allocate offices to its members. Like he mentioned, they must have suffered in terms of contribution of finance, energy, knowledge, and so on to bring the person into power. So we have to acknowledge the truth.
It's like an investment.
Good. And then where you now talk about being father of all, it's like road construction, establishment of industry, and so on. You don't say this one voted this, but we have voted this. That will be very, very enormous. And then going back to the issue of the governor needing technocracy, I have stated here that the governor has shown us the truth concerning whether he requires technocrats, whatever, by functioning for close to 1 year without commissioners. And so it does not matter. These commissioners are advisors. The extent of their functioning, the extent of their performance will depend on the leverage given to them by the government. And so, whether you are a technocrat, whether you are not a technocrat, when you come into the office of commissioners, all you do is to present your ideas to the governor. The governor will have the final say. So, technocrat or no technocrat does not matter. The important point will be what information is the governor ready to accept? What advice is he ready to accept? If you're a technocrat and you come in there and he doesn't accept your advice, your background will be of no importance. Okay. And so the important question would be, will the governor be open to information and advice from the commissioners?
Okay, thank you very much. We are almost coming to the end of today's edition of Issues of the Moment. But before we call it a day, Professor Jele, I want you, in 1 minute, set an agenda for the new commissioners.
Well, in as much as we do not know the departments that we posted to, but I want to say, I also want to use this medium to also tell the governor who are directly in charge, who is going to give them their departments, whether it is commerce and industry, whether it is education, environment, and so on, that it should look towards and give these offices to those that know what to do about it. Let it not just be as an appointment as usual, but let it be that these people are technocrats. Because when you talk about being a technocrat, it is a technical expert who knows how to exercise his authority. That the person must be a professional in that field he is posted to. You don't give a lawyer, a minister, a commissioner for agriculture when there are people who read it, who read agriculture, who will do better and function well in that area. So that is what we're saying. The only way this thing will function and work out well, you look inwards and give offices to people who know their onions in that particular office, and that is the only way that you'll be doing a very wonderful service, not just to yourself, but also to the audience.
Okay, thank you very much. And with that, we have come to the end of today's edition of Issues of the Moment. I want to thank my two guests, Professor Chinedum Adiele and Mr. Okereke. Gentlemen, I want to thank you for being part of today's edition of Issues of the Moment. Thanks for coming. And from me, Chimezin Ozen, the moderator, I also want to thank you for watching. Join us as we come your way next time on Issues of the Moment. God bless you.